doesn't stop us. If we have an audience, it just makes it worse.
I mean, it does just in fact publicize the insanity that happens off screen.
Alright.
So, I mean, there's that, I guess.
We're doing a thing. Okay.
Yeah, we live. We here. What up,
Fuck.
folks?
Alright. Hey, we're all crazy today. Welcome back to the Forever DMs and our weekly campaign that takes place in the fantastical world of Thrayne. Quick reminder that Sunday we'll be back to our regularly scheduled rotation with Breakfast and Dragons, and be down a player this week. So, am I correct on that, Derek? Brandon, sorry, will not be joining us this week.
Brandon will not be joining us this week. He is participating in a stage combat class.
Okay,
That's
As
fun.
you do, yeah.
Acceptable.
I want to go.
Okay.
I want to go participate in a stage combat class. That
You
sounds
know-
badass.
2 people in this chat that could teach you.
That's right. All right. Well, turning us back in to where we left off, the Kinship of Light traveling on the island of Cinderful had some interesting encounters with Mist's shadow, struggling to control this entity or force within him. Mist's darker side, we'll call it, came out several times. Amidst the second battle, a new ally appeared in the form of a retired seeker named Melly Farah, who brought the kinship back to her farm and gave Mist the comfort and security that he needed, both environmentally and magically, to let Mist actually sleep for a night without horrific nightmares yet again. As the kinship spent their night in Melly's farm, or outside, as Kai chose to do, we returned to them in the morning, where conversations continued about Melly's past, the connection that you all share with the tiefling named Selbin, and a bit of truths about the mountain, the sanctuary, and the seekers who guard it. We return to Melly's home as you all, I don't know why I put it in tonight, but cool. As you all return, you stand there, shot glass of rose water in hand, and the small piece of honeycomb in your mouth, having completed the ritual ceremony with Melly, vowing not to repeat the things that she had shared with you. But a crossroads still lay before you. Options, choices, how to continue.
So,
So
sorry, go ahead.
So as your minds focus back in on the moment, Melly had just shared a deep and personal experience within the sanctuary, her time with Selbin, and a deep urgency to her voice that Mist should go to the mountain and find the sanctuary to learn to control whatever was happening within him. So, Mist.
If I remember correctly, we also had the big conversation about the recent attack, and Melly shared her recollection of the attack that happened in the sanctuary.
Correct.
Which
Which happened on a summer solstice 100 years ago.
On the heels of that, Mist would take his stereotypical, like, staring at his feet, kicking rocks, or kicking dust around the carpet. And almost to the point where Selu might be the only person to hear it at first, Mist will murmur, if it controls me or they control me, you should kill me.
That's
And
a
then, like,
hell of a way to start the session.
and then he kind of looks up and repeats that aloud to everybody, almost like he had to talk himself into saying it, and he had to rehearse it once, as he kind of puts on that bravado again and says it aloud.
And Selu is already like wide-eyed before the second louder statement even comes out.
No one's dying. That I can promise. At least while you stay with me. I can promise that.
Yes, it will not come to that.
Oh, I'm sure none of us will die.
From wide-eyed to like hardened focus on Mist. It won't come to that.
Melly, as you stand there, gathering your thoughts in the moment, the friends you have in town pass your mind, and the options that you know of on ways that you may be able to continue deeper into the rock float through, passing memories of mountain staircases and mines and strongholds.
Y'all
Yeah,
wanted
cut
to
your
go
Achilles
into
tendon.
town. Say that
But no
again?
killing. I'm sorry, I was continuing with Mist. I said, maybe I cut your Achilles tendon, but no dying.
And everybody's responses sends Mist staring back towards the ground, and there's a light sniffling from him, but he raises up his rose water as if he's ready to be done.
I'll raise mine and take it.
Cheers.
Sailor does likewise.
As y'all start taking the rose water, you feel your pinky on your left hand start to tingle.
Is it still attached?
Yes, it was just a ritualistic pinky promise.
I love it.
I like it.
I love that.
I knew exactly where that was going. I love it.
This is the
That's
weakest
hilarious.
alcohol I've ever had.
Hmm.
I've got some stronger stuff in the kitchen, honey. And it's made of honey, too. Well, y'all wanted to get into town. Is that still the plan?
Whatever way we need to go to get to this stone. I'll trust you to get us there.
I think heading into Oraton is a small town. Will give us a couple options of where and how we want to go into Crag Keep, because we can't just waltz in, as I've mentioned. So it's going to take a couple favors. I'll cash in, and just a little bit of stealth on our part as well.
Should I look like someone else for this? And you see Mist like wave his hand, and he looks like a lost Thrayne soldier for a second. He waves it again. He looks like a noble.
Well, that makes me feel a lot better, because I was like, how am I going to have this uncomfortable conversation with this lovely person that I just met? But yes, please. I think if you were to walk into town looking how you do, no offense, very lovely looking, but they aren't looking for you. They know what you look like.
On that note, you've been a bit concerned with how I seem to come across. Would others be as well?
The seekers will feel a little uncomfortable.
All of us are masters of blending in.
It's the
Kai,
smirk.
Kai
It's the
turns and
smirk.
looks directly at you, Bailey. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
This is about to become the most D&D centric like spin-off of Will It Blend that ever
Yeah.
did exist, and I'm here for it.
Oh, this is gonna be glorious.
If it becomes too much of a problem, I believe I can throw the light around somebody, like the river that we talked about, um, from distance if necessary, to make them not visible to the eye.
Well, that's a good thing to keep in our back pocket.
Including myself.
Right about that time, there's a do. Aunt Melly is Aunt Melly.
Come in, honey. You know you ain't got to knock.
Well, you got company, and I didn't want to be rude.
They were your friends first. Apparently, you met them earlier than I did. You're more than welcome to come in.
Oh, morning, y'all. It's nice to see you. Hey, I was gonna head out to the fields and get some work done. Is there anything that we don't have company often. Do I need to do anything?
I'll put my hand on his cheek and just give him a little pat. Luke, honey, take it easy. You're fine.
Oh. All
You're
right.
doing
Well,
more than enough.
I'm gonna take my cart with me out into the fields. Do a little harvesting, maybe a little planting and trimming, whatever needs done. But it's good to see y'all again. Will you be around for a few days, or are y'all were headed into town last I saw you? So
Probably headed back that way very soon.
and Luke looks over at you, and that freshly or that youthful stubble on his cheeks coming in that bright fiery red of the rest of the cinder folk, and you swear he like roughed it up a little bit so it looked thicker when right before he walked in. And he stands up real proud and says, well, y'all need anything, you just don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you, Luke.
I'll find a little like smudge on his cheek or something and just like
Oh, Aunt Melly, stop that.
wiping it.
Uh-oh.
Why do you look all roughed up?
I ain't just stop it. I'm fine.
All right, I'm just saying, if you need anything from town, you let me know, all right?
Well, are you still leaving old Sura in town for a few days? Is she staying there with family?
Yeah, I left her there. She's gonna be there for a few days.
Okay, well, I'll go check on her tomorrow, maybe. If that's all right. I ain't been to town in a while, and I want to go see if Jenny's still there. So, you know, she was talking about going off to Centerholm, get a job. So, you know, and at this point, like if lava could blush, is what is happening. The warmth of red from his cheeks as he realized he just talked himself into this. And he just turns and walks out the door. Bye, y'all.
Well,
I offered Selu the guest plate to get cleaned up for the day. If we are going into town, I would recommend all of you use it.
Sailor remembers that they had like now have the plate and like pulls it out of like a pouch they had put it in the midst of everything else that was going on, and as they use it, everything prestidigitates as it does to decidedly cleaner status of things.
And the plate looks like a fancy dinner plate, Melly, and as you watch them touch it, it's like the dust floats away, everybody smells better, their clothing wrinkles out. It's kind of fantastic. Wish I had one, to be honest.
Right?
May I?
Oh,
Yes, it will work on anybody once a day.
and Sailor hands it towards Melly.
Just give me. I'll probably need like 10, 15 minutes. It's been a while, and I'll just head over to the fireplace and start taking down like everything, like my seeker costume that I used to wear when I worked there, and start taking it down and taking it to a bedroom to put it on.
Oh, good. I need some time anyway. And Selu starts
take
like
time to put on
pulling
the
out
plate,
all
baby.
of the like half-done braids that they've not done in probably weeks. Just pulling everything out now clean, and like while Melly is doing that, starts rebraiding and fixing everything across the mop sitting on their head right now.
All right.
Am I lagging for people?
I think Discord is lagging.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
think
there's a
we're-
little bit of joint lag going on, I think.
Yeah, because I'm getting it from everybody right now. But that's okay. We struggle through, damn it.
Well, Melly's gonna come out in full plate armor, this beautiful silk cape coming off that's red, and with a shield and a longsword.
Nice.
And she'll go and touch the plate to kind of shine up the armor a bit.
And the years of dust and cobwebs that can accumulate on things, no matter how well cared for they are, the years wear away in seconds, and you are clean and fresh as if everything is brand new. And as you step out and touch the guest plate and channel its energies through you, you look up at your sword, or your father's sword, on the wall. Do you take that as well, or do you leave it behind?
That's a good question. I think I will. Yeah, I'll leave my longsword and I'll grab my dad's greatsword.
Okay, longsword and shield stay.
You didn't want to go full Witcher?
Hmm.
Just dual sword it?
I mean, it's a great sword, or as Derek would say, it's all right. But pulling this blade down, it is gorgeous and exquisite. And the scroll work of your family along the scabbard, very, very familiar, very dear to you.
As Melly comes back out, Selu will have kind of refashioned their hair a bit to work better under like a full cowl, and rewrapped a lot of their clothing so that it is able to come up comfortably over the head to hide their ears. Meanwhile, the braid coming down still with the 4 small braids that would normally be around to the right side or to the left side are now down, like intertwined through the rest of it, with one middling brown braid amidst a shock of bright blonde.
Wonderful. Well, is there anything else anyone else wishes to do before you depart the farm?
I'll grab a couple jars of honey and 2 bottles of mead
Wonderful.
for the road.
Wonderful.
Will this involve the paying off of any people's?
If I have to pay anyone off, it'll be in goods. Don't you worry about that.
Oh, delightful. I like not worrying about things.
And as you all step out, your goats are there in the pen, and Navarro waiting nearby as you all begin your journey to Orton. Along the road, where are we going here? Along the road to Orton and Cragkeep, a wagon appears in the path. And as they get closer, that familiar sense of guard that you all carry about you on the road, Melly, you recognize this. This is Jenny, as Luke mentioned's father. This is Kara. Well, hey there, Melly, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing quite fine this afternoon. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm just fine. I was heading up to the river, gonna go fishing for the day. Hey, you don't what you all fancy it up for?
Heading into town, might stop by, give a couple jars to the fine folk in Craig's Keep.
Hell, you don't wear your uniform too often. Anything a special occasion, maybe?
Just trying to honor the past.
Oh, fair. Well, you know, there's plenty of your old comrades out and about. There's some sort of hollering and hooting going on up at the hold. I think they were gathering together a group to go hunting for something.
I'd be curious to know what.
Well, if I knew, I'd tell you. You know that.
Oh, I know, Kara. No worries.
Well, wonderful. Well, you have yourself a good day. I'm gonna go fishing. I think it's such a beautiful day. I just want to be out here in the woods.
Well, you enjoy it.
Is it all right if I go put a line in down by your farm like I used to?
Oh, please do. Luke's down there. He might want to have a little conversation with you regarding him and Jenny, if you know what I mean.
There is this stern, like, oh, really moment. Well, I suppose they are getting about that age.
Don't be too hard on him. You know, he's a very anxious young man.
Oh, come now. He's doing just fine.
All right, but if I hear that you were a little too stern with him, you know we're going to have a conversation.
Listen, you know the missus has never let me live it down. I don't need the both of you barking up my back, okay?
All right, just a little friendly reminder.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
And he snaps the reins, and his goat-led cart continues on up the path back towards your farm. And a short while later,
For the sake of clarity to everyone, Selu will at some point, like having pored back over the notes that they jotted down in their tome from like Reese's message. So I maybe this was already clear. I'm not sure. I just want to thinking back on it and the way Reese worded things. The Turigiro and Erathist, I believe they are specifically with this Seleucian. Maybe that was already clear. I don't know, but I do think they are the trio specifically.
Makes
I
sense.
think the same thing.
Right. That was a little. There was a lot whenever I was taking all that in, so I don't think I quite put that together at the time. But right.
Hopefully they all bleed as easily as Talon.
Let's hope we can get rid of them quick. I'm a little concerned because if folks are gathering and they're looking to hunt, my only guess is that word of your presence, Mist, has gotten around. And I think I may have mentioned this to you, but there's some young seekers that are quite ambitious, a little full of themselves, that would do anything to catch someone and bring them back. So I just want to make sure we're careful as we continue to travel, because there's this one boy, I'm going to call him a boy, he ain't even a man, Ravamir. We have to watch out for him, because he thinks the sun's come up just to hear him crow, and I don't like it. He's been a problem since he joined the Seekers, so we gotta watch our backs.
I'm sorry, what was his name?
Ravamir.
Ravamir.
It sounds like a name of someone arrogant and hot-headed.
Yeah, even the name I don't like. Personality, nothing to write home about either.
Mist and Kai recognize the name.
Oh, is that who approached us in the village?
Yep.
You right.
Yes, we have met.
Oh, that was the dumb one who was speaking to walls.
Mist, I don't think he was actually speaking to the wall.
I mean, he very clearly was speaking to the wall. So I can go ahead and look like someone else if you would like, but I have to redo it about every hour, and I could only do it for about 4 hours, maybe more, but that would be very tapped. Very tired afterwards. I don't know if I would be much use to us outside of that.
Well, how quickly can you change?
It takes a matter of seconds. I have the visage already in my head. All I have to do is apply it.
Perhaps we wait until we think we might be inspected.
Yeah, when we get closer to town, or I'll keep watching if there's more folks coming down the road. I'll give you a little holler and make sure that you turn on your visage.
I'll just hide behind Kai in the meantime.
That is fair.
And if there comes a point where it would be better if we're quietly moving through somewhere, I might be able to help with that too.
That time will come.
I can help with that.
And rising up over the hill, the view of Orton greets you. Cresting down a steep embankment towards a small town, even compared to Masthaven, small. A large stone shrine in the center of it, very clearly ornate and well worked and well loved. Melly, you know this to be basically the marketplace held within. It is bustling always with the movers and shakers trading ore and coin and goods, and those who come here to purchase to carry away to distant lands do so from the shrine. Other than that large stone shrine, you see several paddocks with goats in them throughout. Not sure why you see in grayscale there, bud.
I do too, for what it's worth.
I
Weird.
think you've got it set to
Yep.
night,
I don't, though.
or you might have it set to where the sight is limited.
We'll figure it out. But How about that?
Oh, yeah,
Ta-da!
I just literally reset it.
Here,
Beyond
does it look
the-
any different?
It's so pretty.
Sorry, what did you say?
Nothing. I was being an asshole. Don't listen to me.
Oh, was that a colorblind joke? I gotcha.
It was a
okay.
colorblind joke. I'm sorry.
Gotcha. No, not the bullshit.
Beyond the site of the town, you see a large mine entrance, and you can see it from this distance because of the size of it. A hole large enough to fit a whole multi-storied tavern through the entrance of leads down into the mountainside with the volcano rearing behind it in the distance. A larger, more ornate entrance set to its left. Melly, you know these to be the gates themselves to the city of Crag Keep. And the hold set on a hilltop above the Crag Keep gates. This is where your order is headquartered. And you know, each of these three provides a potential avenue into the mountain, each with their own obstacles and each with their own challenges along the way. But Kai, with your very high perception and your experience noticing large groups of horse and rider on the hill near the hold, the upper left-hand corner of the map, you see a few dozen horse and rider set out, gathering.
Can I tell? Are they wearing like a similar uniform to Melly, or?
It would definitely be mixed attire, but there is a familiar streak of red in all of their garments.
Okay. I'll ride up next to Melly and point him out. I'll say, it seems that your order is gathering. How many you said? Like 2 dozen?
Mhm.
Where will they go?
Well, that's not good. I imagine I don't think they wouldn't think that whoever they're looking for, the lost brother to bring back to the sanctuary, that they'd be in town, so they're probably heading out into the forest.
Yes, see, Mist, by going where they want you, you're the last place they would expect. And then I kind of like look up, like, did that make sense?
Shove in this spoon down the baby's throat. It works every time.
Mist is the baby.
No, mist is the spoon in this case.
This
Normally the baby, yes.
The mine is the baby?
I'm very confused by this whole analogy. I don't understand this at all. But it keeps changing. I'm not sure what y'all are going for with it. But regardless, Millie, what do you suggest we do? Do you think they'll leave out soon?
I hope so. And if they don't, there are a couple places we can go to. There's a healer in town that I think would be willing to help us. I've known their family for years and years. But I'm pretty close with the miners as well. So we can always check that out. It's really up to you on what you want to end up doing, but we have options. I think I'd caution against using the main entrance. As you can see, it gets pretty busy over there.
That seems wise to me.
At this point, you hear "Brr, brr, brr," of a horn from the fortress. And 4 of the riders peel away and begin heading down the road at great speed towards you all.
Mist! Mist! Now is the time!
All right, y'all. Don't worry, I got this, and I'll step forward.
Okay, boys.
Kai,
Act natural.
Kai, as you
Smile
finish
and
the,
wave,
like,
boys. Smile and wave.
cute and cuddly. Um, yeah, Kai. By the time you're done shaking Mist, it looks like you're shaking a young Lostern soldier that you've
Whoa.
run into before.
That startles me a little bit because I'm like,
Hang on.
I'm like not looking at you when I hit you first, and then I look, and I'm like, no.
Mist, is this the Lothran soldier you talked to? Behind Aetheric's tent?
Oh, the one that was thrown up.
Yeah.
No. So this is the same
Okay.
one Mist turned into to go there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. The group of 5 horses rides over, tearing past the edge of town and coming up. You can see one with a crossbow held in their hand, and one with a large spear and banner carried upon it.
That crossbow isn't pointed at me, right?
No, not at the
Okay.
moment.
Oh no, he didn't.
Not yet.
As those riders come up near and come close enough to be able to get a visual, the lead rider holds up a hand and says, "Stand down," as they bring their horses to a slower gait and come near. As they come near, you can clearly see 2 human and 3 cinder folk, Genasi or human presenting cinder folk individuals, clad in various sets of armor and gear denoting different skills that they may have brought with them to the Seekers, but all wearing that familiar red tabard. The lead rider raises his sword hand up. "Lady Captain Farah, I wasn't expecting to see you come into town. And this you would know to be Sergeant Tomas."
Thought her name was Millie.
Can you say what you said again? Because I froze.
"That's okay. Lady Captain Farah, I was not aware you were coming to town."
You know I come in every few weeks. I gotta bring some honey in. And I got some visitors in town with me.
This I see, Captain. You are in uniform. Are you answering the hunt?
I'm not answering the hunt. I was, reflecting on my time with the Seekers, and I was made aware that it was 100 years ago that the attack happened. So feeling a little nostalgic, wanted to honor my father and those we lost in the battle, and feel close to them today. So I came into town wearing my uniform.
Make a persuasion check for me.
Okay.
It's a good cover story.
I mean, there's nothing about it that's false. So.
26.
Nice.
Shit. The young man's brows furrow. His demeanor shifts a little bit, almost darkening. "I'm sorry for the loss of your father, Captain. I know he's recognized in the halls for his exploits and glory. I wish I could have met him myself."
Count your blessings that you live in an era of peace.
And as you say, an era of peace, his eyes shift towards your companions, this human behind you, half-orc. a slightly concealed elf, and a dragonborn. Strange companions you have, Captain. I apologize for the intrusion, but Lieutenant Ravamir insists we question everyone. Where are you all from?
Now, Sergeant Thomas, I'll let my companions introduce themselves, but and I'll get like really close. I just want you to know that between you and I'm thinking of starting my own meadery. So these fine folk are going to help me open it, and that's one of the reasons why I'm in town today as well.
He leans in real close. Your secrets safe with me, Captain.
All right. And I'll just gesture to the rest of the party.
You're a liar.
And he looks to the rest of you. And your names, please.
Hey, my name's Alfred of Lothran.
Yes.
All right. I would love either a stealth or a deception check from you, please, Mist. I'll say performance or deception, either way.
I was
Okay.
really hoping he was going to say his name was Reese.
Fuck. That's a 14.
The 14. All right.
Mhm.
And his eyes drift past you to the Hrodran on horseback behind you. And you are
You may call me Hrodran, or Black Hands, whichever you prefer.
a person matching your description was seen with a person of interest here recently. You've
I am
been
very interesting.
It kind of flits back and forth eyes between you and Jubei. Were you in Masthaven recently with a horned individual?
What would Kai do? I'm a terrible liar. But I'm unaware why my traveling would be of interest to you.
Your travels are not. This individual is. Were you in Masthaven recently with a horned man?
Yes, I was.
And you see all the soldiers shift slightly, their guard come up just a little more.
Hey, Jubei, what you been doing making people think you have horns again? You're not that type of dragon.
You should hear how some of people describe me when they see me for the first time.
Told you the commoners don't take kindly to that.
Hi.
But honestly, and I'm going to step between Kai and the soldiers, honestly, if you speak of the horned individual that's traveled with us, the very self-centered, thieving individual that typically travels with us, I believe we left him in Masthaven.
Jubei, I would like you to roll a deception check, please. Kai.
Yeah, I was not about to lie because
I only have a +1.
my deception's a -1.
Kai,
Can
what's...
I help?
How would you like to help in this moment? This is a rapid fire skill challenge, so...
Yes. I'm gonna jump in when I hear Jubei say that and be like, now, Sergeant Thomas, you don't even want to know the state that I found them in. Their companion took them for almost everything they had.
Oh, she's not even lying.
Jubei, if you'd like, you may roll with advantage.
Well, that was a 16, and I'll add, pointing to Kai, the reason he does not like speaking of this is the gentleman that you're talking about slept with his sister.
Go ahead and roll one more time for me, friend. All right.
We'll stick with the 16.
Is that right? So, you all have seen this blue-horned man. Do you have any information you could give us that may lead to his capture?
The last we saw him was in Mast Haven. Wouldn't you say? And look at the group.
Real slippery sort.
Sailor, you're muted.
I was muted. That's why. That makes so much sense now. Selu kind of chimes in. Aye, last in Mass Haven, and good riddance to him. We came to see what was a buzz, as you might say, of the bees in the area, as
Boo.
Lady Melly's,
One of the
as Lady Melly.
one of the Centerfold warriors in the back just groans. Ah.
I let out
I-
a hearty laugh.
As Lady Melly mentioned, we're here on a business venture to decide if this is worth our time. And frankly, we need it to be at this point. And as they speak, there's a slight gust of wind, kind of across everything, and Selu will unknowingly use their channel divinity for the first time to gain what is it? Proficiency in deception.
Oh shit. Okay. Go ahead and roll it.
That is a 10 on the die. With if I have proficiency on that, that's going to be an 18.
That, friends, was the 3 successes you needed.
We did it.
This is not the tiefling you're looking for.
There's no tiefling here, there's a human. Very well. It is good to see you in town in regalia, Lady Captain. I'm sure if any of your companions and colleagues are still about, they'll be glad to see you as well. Come along, boys. And they turn and begin heading back, and as they do, there's a pause, and the sergeant turns back. Captain, we'll be sending parties out in all directions. If you see anything, please let us know. Bring a swift end
Absolutely.
to this.
Stay safe, y'all.
And they turn and ride back to the hold.
Make haste, you might miss him.
Hate it.
I hate it so much.
Stressful.
As soon as they are like out of sight, Selu like deflates a little bit. Oh, I hate lying.
That's why I did not lie. I'm a terrible liar.
Well, that's the reason you blend. You have when you lie, you have to. It's like acting. You have to bend a little bit of the truth with it. That's the reason I said he was self-centered. He was, he was greedy, and
Right, you get used to it. The lying part. Well, and the rest of it, Jubei.
So, with the immediate danger overcome, the town of Orton lay before you.
Should it be relevant, I have that proficiency for the next 10 minutes. But
quickly tell us all the lies you've ever wanted to say.
So, Melly, thinking through your life here and your friends and those who call you family, 3 people come to mind who could be immediately helpful. Ketrin, Chetlan, the miner, or Ty.
Is he only 17?
Pardon?
Nope. He's a
Nope.
minor. He's a minor. No.
Wrong kind of minor.
Oh,
Derek, you're fired.
But how long ago was he a minor? He might be of age now.
It could
Yeah,
be.
I mean he's an old family with deep connections in Cragkeep itself, according to my notes. So you know. So
I think my instinct would be to go to Chetland,
okay,
because of the mining guild, and because he is related to my current partner, who's also has like connection in the mining. Um, so I think I'd go to him.
okay.
Would y'all feel comfortable if we paid a visit to my friend Chetland? He actually he helped Selden out of the sanctuary, and I think he can help us in.
If you trust him, I think we trust you. If you think that's the best route.
We'll go get we'll do a little pulse check, see how he's feeling, see if he's willing to help, because he's a little bit of a grumpy old man, but nothing a little bit of mead won't fix.
Vibe check on the old man. Got it.
Check his vibe. So, as you lead your way down, Orton is indeed a small town. It is the small surface face on the outside of this underground city. You haven't been in, so I didn't want to describe it any further. As you wind your way, Melly, familiar faces and smiles come out to greet you, though there are some discouraging frowns seeing you in uniform. And as you pass by the old shrine, you see the market setting up, and there are traders coming in on wagon from Cinderholm with ore trains, large carts that are designed to carry the wealth and mineral resources away towards the port and harbor. And stepping around the corner of one of the pillars of the old shrine is a familiar, damn near gray, the fire in him almost completely out, old Cinderfolk dwarf, his long purple robes dragging almost on the ground, though held just barely up above his thick iron-shod boots, and large mutton chops pulled down into braids that are tucked into his belt, with bare chin sticking boldly out, almost pointed, and a bald head long since from when it could once grow hair. The face of Chetland Drowstone steps around. Well, that's how I live and breathe. Get down off that thing and come give me a hug.
Chetland, you look almost fossilized. How you doing, old friend?
Rude.
Shit, you're just as old as I am. Come here.
I don't look it though.
And reaches up to give you a hug around your waist like this. Big embrace. Oh, you got some friends here with you. How you doing, all? Nice to meet you.
You as well, Chetland.
Name's Drowstone. Chetland Drowstone. Nice to meet y'all. You, start scanning over you. Friends of Melly?
I'm here to start a meadery.
You didn't tell me you were going into business again.
Chetland, I'd love to find a place for us to talk privately.
I'm a little busy here, Melly. Market's about to open. What? Oh,
Is Damie around? Can she help you?
Well, yeah, I'll... What's this about, Millie? You look something serious.
Chetland, it's about the meadery, and I'll give him a little wink.
All right, let's see how aware he is today. He's had his coffee. All right. Right. Probably need some stone for the foundation or something. Yeah, give me a minute. And he steps over and rushes over and talks to a older Cinderfolk woman looking about his age. Gives her a solid smack on the ass. She smacks him on the face and kisses him and then runs back over. Well, follow me back to the guild hall.
Is that a greeting on this island?
No. No, that old bitch is my wife.
Chetland, what I say about treating Damie like that?
Listen, I don't tell you how to come raise your boy.
That's true.
You don't tell me what she's into and what I'm into, okay? That's
No,
for
that's
us to
fair.
know. And the sanctity of stone, that's our secrets, okay?
That's fair.
Now follow me.
I forget how kinky y'all are. All right, let's go.
Looking at Jubei looks at Kai. Is bitch a term of endearment?
I do not know.
Oh, come on, bitch.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Chetland leads you into the guild hall, and there are a few folks inside milling about. A human woman and a cinder folk, damn near as tall as Kai and as broad with her tusks sticking out. Cinder folk, half orc. And as they are milling about, Chetland walks in, having kind of sensed the urgency along the way, looks at them all and says, "Yeah, I'll take a break." "But, sir, we just got here." "I said take a fucking break." "Right, I'll... very early lunch. I didn't sign up for this." They all scatter, leaving you all alone in the privacy of a quiet office where everyone else is gone.
I'll put a jar of honey and a bottle of mead on the table. Chetland, I'm asking for your discrepancy. You understand?
Now, you're already throwing bribes on the table and you ain't said nothing yet.
It's
Now,
not a bribe, honey. You know I just like to take care of you. Mostly Damie, but
listen, last time you brought me a bottle of mead and put it up on the counter before I done said a word, your foundation was cracked.
you're right.
I love you like a sister, but what's going on?
I'll look to Mist and give a nod if you're comfortable.
If I'm comfortable. Yeah. So
As this happens, are there any like windows in this room
Mhm.
right now or anything?
Oh, there
Oh,
are.
yes.
Sorry, should I?
Do they have any kind of like shutters or anything on them?
Yep.
As that exchange happens, Selu looks and there is a stirring of wind as all of the shutters and like curtains draw as like gusts of wind just close up all of the like the windows in the area.
You know, we could have done that by hand.
Now, unless you're gonna pick all those papers up you just blew around.
and again, just to double check, Mist kind of rubs his face, and then the visage or visage facade visage vanishes. Words and
Chetland
stuff.
is looking back at the corner where one of the windows shut, and there's like a paper that's settled down onto the ground from the slight gust of wind. And he turns back. Now, Melly, I done. Fuck.
I have gotten more cold welcomes. It's okay.
Chetlin, my friend here is, well, I'm sure you've seen, but they're looking for him, and it's really important that I take him to the sanctuary, because this young man is struggling.
Listen, last time you asked me to bring somebody out. Now you want me to take somebody in?
Yes?
I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. It's just the opposite.
I know I'm asking a lot of you, Chetlin, and I understand your hesitations, but if you would have seen him, how I found him, the shadows getting stronger.
I don't. I don't want to know. The less I know, the better. That black-haired idiot up on the hill's been raising a frickin' mess for 2 days, calling in everybody that he can. And you bring this into my house. Well, not my house, but... You know, if that idiot brings him in, he'll be up for captain before you know it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I want to avoid. I don't care about what they're doing. You know, I've never cared about the Seekers and their mission to bring people in against their will. That's not what I'm here for. I want to help people, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And I know deep in your heart you want to help too. So stop bitching about it and help me.
Yes.
Dwarf.
Or I could take the mead back, and I'll take the bottle back.
As you go to grab the bottle of mead, like lightning, his hand goes out and settles on it, and you just can't even move the bottle anymore. Pulls it towards him slightly. Go on, let go. And as your hand comes off of it, he rips the cork out with his teeth and takes 2 good heavy swigs and walks over, looks up at Mist. You got a death wish?
Not currently, but it's been on the table several times in my life, yes?
Actually, we're not convinced he doesn't yet.
Again, not currently.
So there's a blue-skinned, horned man on the island, walking around with a man with black hands.
I am a half-orc.
And tattoos. I was being nice. Their words were a lot ruder. And you bring them into my house. Glug, glug, glug. Fuck, that's good. Why? Not him, you. Why? Why are you getting involved?
Selbin died.
And you
Chetlin.
see his face sink.
And his before he died, he actually met these 4 here, and he talked about the sanctuary. Our meeting was not a coincidence, me and the 4 here. And if I can help, if I can help Mist, it'll make me feel a little bit better about what happened to Selvin too. So I suppose it's a little bit of a selfish ask, and I'll look to Mist. I'm really sorry.
You've done nothing but favors for me.
Yeah, I hope
Selbin's legacy continues to hold sway here with this one as well.
he looks at you sternly, and you can see the fire in his eyes kind of brighten slightly as his eyes narrow towards you. You know that's a cheap shot, right?
It's a real topic for me as well.
Cheap shot or not, Selbin gave everything to help us. To help Mist.
Mr. Roll persuasion check with advantage because of Selu.
14 plus 19 total.
Okay.
Nice.
You smoked my 10, so.
That's smoke worse.
Fair. Listen, the old tunnels that used to get close to the sanctuary have been closed for years. I can't even guarantee they make it all the way.
I'd
And
go
what,
with them.
You're gonna walk in from a hidden exit and go, hey, we're here, help us? What are you gonna tell the seekers inside?
I'm sure they're busy with the hunt. They're gathering all their forces, aren't they?
All right. Look, I gotta be in the market all day. And as you hear the sounds of commerce increase outside, you all stay down here. And he nods towards the stairwell. Cellar's plenty comfortable, but come nightfall, I'll take you to the mine and show you where to go. But I ain't going in there. Sanctuary gives me the creeps.
Understood. I'll look to Mist. If you wanna. Now
Oh, right. Yes.
And I'll pat Chetlin on the back, you know, pretty hard, but like in a friendly way, and get up and start picking up the papers and opening up the windows and all that stuff.
Y'all stick out like a sore thumb. Be comfortable waiting in the cellar.
I don't mind.
Good, it wasn't a question.
Delightful.
We already bumped into Sergeant Thomas, so I think we're fine. But I understand if you want to, you know.
Look, if you want to go about town, go about town. That's fine. You want a place to lay low, there it is.
I appreciate you, Chetlin.
Yeah, I know. Fuck. And he takes another swig of the mead as he walks out the door. Y'all go back to work. Decidedly grumpier than he was.
Zelu will busy themselves helping pick up all of the papers that they made a freaking mess with, closing the windows.
It was just a couple. Not too bad.
Jubei will help.
You again. I have a place to lay low, as he put it. So, if you would like to go about town, you're welcome to. I think it is best for me personally to stay here until we are ready to move forward with the plan.
I don't want you sitting in a cellar for the whole day by yourself.
I have plenty of things to entertain myself with.
I just also wanted to give y'all an option if you wanted to go about town and, I don't know, get some supplies, whatever you need, souvenirs, postcards.
You say souvenirs, and Mist eyes light up for a second, and then he kind of shakes his head.
I'm not good with the common language. What is a postcard?
I could show you. It's you got someone at home you want to send a letter to?
Actually, yeah.
Well, we got some fine artists here in Orton that make some beautiful drawings that you can send to your family of the town.
Is there... If there's a postcard, is there a pre-card?
You know, I'm not quite sure. Possibly. Maybe I just ain't heard of it yet.
Interesting.
So, as the workers begin to filter in, who stays in the cellar and who doesn't?
Mist is in the cellar.
I'll stay in the cellar with Mist. I don't trust myself to lie or be able to keep up the charade.
Fair enough.
Part of me is a little concerned that I might draw attention, but we did also say that we were here kind of scouting things out, so I don't know if we need to be seen somewhere, maybe? I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, inquiring about, I don't know, flower seeds or material to make a hive, or I don't know.
I could probably work with that. Jubei, do you want to see the town? Find some of these postcards? Maybe even a pre-card?
I guess. Concerned about Mist. I don't want him stuck in the cellar by himself. And
He will not be in by himself. I am staying in the cellar.
okay, I'm concerned about Kai and Mist stuck in the cellar.
Okay, that's fair.
Oh, don't be afraid, Kai. I won't hurt you.
That, besides the point, what if the shadow erupts and Kai is here alone?
You still got that piece of amber, don't you?
Oh, the one that you gave me the other night?
I believe it should still keep you at peace for the time being.
Oh,
I hope, at least.
great. I just thought it was pretty.
Honey, I wouldn't rip off a piece of my own head just because it's pretty.
Well, on that note, I will join you, Salo. We will take a look at Etherton.
Seeing people do worse for less? I don't know. Eagleton.
Oh, it's Etherton.
Etherton. Either or, whichever.
Oh, gosh.
Etherton
Oh
Needed him
gosh.
as the mirror city in the shadow realm, like,
Oh.
or the
That would that
the
would that would be
realm or
that would
something.
in fact be Norriton. Um,
Does
Oh,
that make
dear.
the one in the Fey realm just eh?
Maybeson.
Maybe optioned and all right. So
I lost so many brain cells just now.
it's that kind of night.
And my
A
job
moment of
is
silence for my brain cells.
Yep.
You
So-
tone it down. I don't have enough to spare, Bill.
As Mist and Kai descend into the cellar, there's actually a couch down there.
Oh, hell yeah.
It looks like on walking in, all you see are crates and barrels and stacks of scroll cases, and you're like, oh fuck, this is gonna
That's-
suck. And then you walk around one shelf set and you see a rug and a couch and like an unlit lantern sitting there, and there's a blanket and a pillow on the couch. Like, this is clearly the lunchtime nap spot.
I figured that's where he's got to sleep when he pisses his wife off.
Also entirely possible. And as the two of you descend in there, the rest of you exit into Orton. It is a small town. The influence of dwarven architecture is present everywhere. The stone from the mines making the pillars and support beams on almost every structure you see. Even the well sitting in front of the old shrine is intricately carved and beautiful. But the town is yours. If you wish to go shop or look for a 4-hour shopping episode, that would be an old shrine. Do you want to go for an ale? The inn, as Melly describes, is called the Hammer's Rest. If you're looking for herbs or healing accoutrement, that would be over at Ketrin's.
Melly, I think we can perhaps manage to make ourselves look like we're doing what you mentioned on the way in, even if we don't have anything specific in mind. But I do have an idea of something that might be able to help if something goes wrong with Mist. But I might need a few things for it. Do you know where I would be able to find a bit of... I think it's going to need some, like, powdered ores? I'm not sure, and for the sake of not having a good way of how to explain this, Selu is looking for the some certain specific components that would be like powdered silver and iron.
I think Ketrin might be able to help you out with a few things. Usually is it for arcane purposes?
A spell I have in mind. Something...
Yeah. Ketrin tends to have a good amount of components. Can't promise I'll have that, but if anything, we can always check in Chetlin's storage. He'll forgive me.
Fair enough. Well, let's start with Ketrin then, I guess.
Selu, roll an insight check for me.
Well, I was tired of not having rolled real dice in a while, and this is what I get for it. Insight. Let's
Pivot
see.
rule?
Not quite. No.
Okay.
That's a 3 on the die, so it's a flat 10.
Okay. With a flat 10, the interaction between Chatlin and Melly very much get the vibe that Melly gets what Melly wants when it comes to Chatlin.
I would like to add real quick. One of my players on my Friday games watches us on stream, and has started to refer to the rule as Jacob's rule.
The Jacob rule, yeah.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
it has moved to different. It's moved to a different D&D group.
It's not canon.
My infamy grows. Fantastic.
So,
All according to plan.
yep. As you are standing there talking and walking past the old shrine, Selu, with your passive perception, you see, much like a fresh open air market, where there would be like baskets of things laid out, staggering down in front of a stall, you see ores and rocks. And pretty certain you could acquire powdered silver and such here at the old shrine in the market contained within.
Okay. Seeing that there's seems to be quite a bit of such things around, they will nonchalantly acquire some of that over the course of things, but also like paying attention to and confirming with Melly a little bit of like what things would be involved with mead, because they don't really know. So quietly like looking at things that would be involved with such things, like testing out different things. If there's people there with honey in particular, like different types of honey or from different like different beekeepers or anything along those lines of where they are hawking their wares, then they'll spend some time around that for sure.
I see Selu walking to another honey like stand, and I'll like grab your arm. Sweetheart, what do you think you're doing?
Well, why wouldn't I try more honey?
Was my honey missing something? Do you have feedback, criticism? Please, I want to hear.
Jubei just
Say-
turns and walks away.
No. Say-
Nope.
No, yours is great, but we need to know what everybody else's is like if we're going to put in business here, right?
We don't need to see what everyone else's is like. But you can if you want, but I'm just going to say you've already had the best.
Well, I'll take your word for it then.
With a solid passive perception, as Selu has.
Oh, that wasn't passive. That was aggressive.
With the solid passive aggressive that Selu has received now from Melly. With your passive perception, as you wander through the old shrine, the few people that do stop and talk and chat with Melly, everybody seems to love Melly Farah, and everyone knows about Farah's farms. Bit of fame, maybe sometimes infamy, and occasionally jealousy. But the questions of, did you bring any today? Or
I'm jonesing. What are they putting in that honey, Melly? Jesus.
Rubbing the
occasionally with some of the extra jars that Melly brought, there's a stop at an old basket weaver's stand, or a old man just making little wood carvings and selling them they'll haul them off to Cinderholm and sell them as knickknacks at a seaside attraction kind of thing. But everybody knows who Melly Farah is.
And Selu, having very much gotten the gist, but was just trying to like play things off. Kind of, well, if that's the way it needs to be, then I suppose there's no need looking further here. And Sailor will instead pay attention towards other like herb vendors and whatnot. If anybody has anything like hibiscus or anything like that, then they'll look for different things that they could use to mix with said meads in different form and fashion.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and I'll walk with Seilu and look for herbs just for my own as well.
I will keep a polite distance behind them.
Okay. Back in the
Angry cow.
back in the storage room. What are you all doing? Are you playing the most passive aggressive game of solitaire ever, or what's happening, y'all?
Is it really solitaire if you're not alone?
First,
That's why it's passive aggressive.
First, I taught Mist how to thumb wrestle, but I kept beating him, and so he got pissed off. And so then he started trying to teach me some kind of card game that's very complicated and I don't understand. And he's really just making up the rules on the spot.
Okay, we're going to start juggling with the basics. Daggers. Try not to cut your fingers. Just out of curiosity, are there like mice/rats in this?
No, there are not.
They're not. Okay.
But I could be a mice/rat.
Please don't. For what I had in mind. So, after a while of like playing games and whatnot, and starting to get bored with the basics of cards or juggling or tricks, pulling coins from behind Kai's ear and stuff, Mist will eventually go back to like his practice of basic magic stuff. And one of the things that Kai will notice that Seilu noticed the previous morning is that since the peaceful rest, the edges of Mist, you can't tell if it's like frayed fur or what's going on, but it instead of a stark silhouette, it's almost like a blurry outline. And he stands there and focuses real hard every once in a while and can make it blur a little bit more, as if he's practicing doing it to his entire body.
Love it.
Mist would explain that he's controlling the shadows are not controlling him in this instance.
Kai is watching very carefully.
Hi, as you're watching very carefully, there's a moment where you realize that the workers upstairs have gone silent.
I walk over to Mist and I put a hand on his shoulder, and then put a finger up to my lips.
The blurring stops and Mist becomes still and silent. His cane is suddenly in his hand.
The creak of the door at the top of the stairs. And a single light set of footsteps descends the stairs slowly. With your experience and Mist your training, you can tell that these are just light footsteps. They are not trying to hide. Stepping down and coming into view, the lantern lit and the red light rippling across a deep, almost burgundy red robe over a frail female form. Hood pulled far forward with gold filigree all down the sides of the hem, and a stripe of gold woven throughout in great detail down the back, covers about a foot wide. Arms tucked into their own sleeves, and they stop. And the head comes up, and an old human woman, eyes closed, looks in your direction. Hello, Mistlethar.
Do you know each other?
I don't know who she's talking about. There's I'm Alfred, and this is my friend the Herodian.
Oh,
Of-
right.
Of course you are. You are also Sir Mistlethar, Free Knight of Her Majesty of Iona. And you are Herodrin, Black Hands, Kai Ajirai. May I sit?
Perhaps if you were to give us your name, you seem to have us at a disadvantage.
I have given up my name.
Then what are we to call you?
You may call me Scale Mistress. And she opens her eyes, and you see nothing but reflective silver cataracts.
He's going like just dropping out everything as he's already been made. This is a title I've been told before. It seems strange for you to be out of this sanctuary or away from the peace of heaven.
I do not live in the sanctuary, though I visit often. But my guardian thinks I'm still asleep. Forgive an old woman her tricks.
Something like your style. Kai, do you mind making sure there is no one with her that we should be more wary of?
Are you trying to get me like out of the room, or what is your intention there?
Miss knows that Kai is better at checking for people and things nearby than he is.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm not gonna go up the stairs, but I'll just walk to the base of the stairs and take a look up.
Roll a perception check for me.
Wow. I'm gonna invoke the Jacob rule for the first time.
All right. You gain an inspiration point there, bud.
You're welcome.
You see no one. Matter of fact, it's still quiet up there.
I turn around to Miss and I shake my head.
Oh, do you need to be led to the couch? It seems you see more than you let on.
I don't understand.
You said you wanted to have a seat, but then you knew who we were without seeing us.
You are clever. And she pulls one hand out of her robe and extends it towards you, as if waiting for you to guide her.
I have heard the story of an old person named Thrayne who similarly could see without seeing, and Mist will move her towards the couch.
Tell me this story.
And Mist will go into what he was told during the identify of Turin's veil.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fascinating. So,
Good information for someone who enjoys the dark.
Hmm.
And Miss winks at her, feeling like she can see him.
and she just kind of stares ahead.
So,
Seeing is a complicated thing. It limits you, yet sets you free.
it seems you are no less apt or capable for your lack of sight. Why do you come to us in this place?
I wanted to meet you.
If you knew we were here, then you'd probably know that we'd be coming to you sooner or later.
Not necessarily. As I understood it, you knew nothing of the peace of heaven. At least that's what you told Rapamir. Silly
If-
boy.
A fool that talks to walls, and you listen to him?
He was speaking to me.
You don't look like a wall.
I'm not that old yet.
Well, you are here. I am here. What would you have of me?
Her hand reaches up towards your face. May I?
And Miss looks at Kai, like, gives him the nod, like, if I go unconscious, kick her ass.
That's
And
what the nod means.
That's what the nod means.
As her hand comes up out of her robe, there's a dagger. No. As her hand comes up out of her robe, this frail, thin, boned arm reaches towards your face and just kind of pats around, getting a shape of your face and your horns and follows the curve. You are handsome, aren't you?
That is sweet of you to say. He's a little flustered.
He turns and reaches to a couch. And pulls out a small wooden box trimmed in silver. And flips it open. And you see something you haven't seen in a while, actually. You see a very familiar deck of tarot cards. Very
Ooh.
similar to the one Reese carries.
That's fun.
There's an audible gasp from Mist as he is very taken aback by this.
Do you know what these are?
And I know of them. I had a friend who knew more of them, reading them and such.
No, there's not much to know. They're just pieces of paper with gold and silver on them, a little bit of paint.
They always struck me as gorgeous when he used them, and these are just as fascinating to me.
And she spreads her hand out across the carpet, and behind her hand leaves a trail of cards. Take one.
Allowed to touch them?
Yes. What do you think? They lose their power or something?
I just never got to touch the other ones. Kai, did you ever get to touch the other ones?
If you said something that didn't pick up.
I said no.
This one. And he like wavers over one and then moves his hand real quick, like he's playing a trick on the blind woman to grab a card.
Okay.
You show her.
Right.
And her hand goes to the last card you touched.
What the hell is going on?
As she flips over to reveal a picture of an elven woman as a minstrel, titled The Bard. Pick one more.
Okay. This time, Miss just taps one. He's like, this is baffling to me.
Okay. So you just tap one?
Yeah.
She flips over Dagger and Coins, the rogue. One last one.
And Mist will go to the far extreme of the deck and pick the very bottom card of the pile she put out.
Okay. I'm going to take a picture of this and send it to you. I laid out stacks of cards in front of me. As she flips over the Fiend.
Shit.
Those are pretty.
Those cards are so pretty.
It's such a
Boy.
great deck.
Pretty nice deck.
Big deck.
Here's
energy.
our penis is pretty solid
Great.
too.
So
Got that big deck energy.
All the kids love to play with this deck.
from where
Enough about minors. Can we stop?
from where the cards lay, she just flips them over, holds them up, and puts them right back where they were on the stack, just face up. Your voice brings you life, but it is muffled by the night. And be wary the fiend within. But I think you knew that already. And she reaches her hand up once more towards your face.
Mist will extend himself into her hand.
Her thumb settles right into your forehead, right into the center. And in a silent and dark flash, your vision shifts. Damn it, Bill, you're in chat. Your vision shifts deep within a mountain, deep within stone and rock and fire, to a single blue stone glowing brightly as you touch it with your clawed hands and break it. And your vision shifts back. You, child, are a destroyer.
come to
You-
turn it as creative destruction, if you will.
You will bring death and ruin.
That is all you came to tell me. That doesn't seem very helpful at all.
I didn't come to help you. I
Well-
came to meet the man that will kill me.
I've killed many people, but I don't think you will be one of them.
We don't all get to look, well, feel death in the face. I like you. I hope I'm wrong, but I never am.
It has been a pleasure to not kill you yet. Then
I wish you luck in the mines. You will need it.
Just on the off chance you do feel like helping, a friend of mine said something about trials to control rather than to give up. Do you have any insights into me controlling this? I'd hate to see you die.
There are two choices before you. Your death or mine. You'll choose wisely.
Yes. And he shoots a glance at Kai. Wisdom is what I'm known for.
And she stands after collecting her cards and turns and looks at Kai. Just stares at you with her blank, blind eyes.
I stare back. I've trained my entire life for this.
Who blinks first, the blind woman or the stubborn orc? How does it feel already being dead?
Oh, damn.
This lady don't pull punches. Jeez.
Was it exhilarating?
I don't remember it.
That would be nice. I will see you both again, and your friends. You're in good hands. She's a brave one. And she starts wandering over towards the stairs. Puts a hand out to catch herself on a corner that she wasn't exactly sure of where it was, and this odd juxtaposition of being able to read the cards and look directly at you, but then clearly not being able to see the wall that was right there.
It's just standing dumbstruck at all of this that just happened.
And as she gets close to the stairs, there's a quick whistle from her in a way that reminds you of a companion, a friend across the sea, and a large brown dog comes down the stairs and curls around her leg and then stands next to her and starts walking forward. And she starts walking forward with the dog leading the way.
He has a service familiar. That's awesome.
And as she steps up the stairs, leaving you both in silence, we're going to take a break.
Yeah.
All I could think of was the scene in Princess Bride of, I'd rather destroy a stained glass window than an artist such as yourself. But since I can't have you follow me either, and then smack her upside the back of the head.
All right, friends. We'll be back here in just a few minutes.
Yeah. Be back shortly.
And we're back. Freeze frame. Welcome
Good
back.
jump.
Yeah. Oh, right. That's right. There we go. Welcome back. As we left the kinship, if there's anything in particular the kinship that was out traveling and shopping would like to do, I know how much Bill loves shopping episodes. But if there's
I
anything,
don't mind them.
if there's anything in particular you all would like to do in town, we can do that, or we can jump straight back into the reunion.
How long are we gonna be in town? Not very long, right?
No. I mean, as the conversation went this morning when you arrived, until sundown.
Okay, then never mind.
Okay. Did you want to look for the post or pre-cards?
If we happen upon them, sure, but I think most the Jubei will look at Sailor and be like, we should not leave them alone for long. Knowing them, they'll get in trouble, or, something mysterious will happen between the two of them and some stranger. It's like we might need to head back.
Okay.
Oh, what if we walk in on the middle of them doing something mysterious? That could get awkward.
As you are wandering through the old shrine and the market that is there, Jubei, if you wish to grab postcards, there are available. No pre-cards, though. They don't seem to know what you're talking about if you mention those. Or just cards.
I go ahead and I barter some honey for 3 postcards that I'll give to Julie.
Awesome.
Gabe, describe them.
As you look at the first has a simple rendition of the island with a volcanic mountain on top with the gentle puffs of smoke. And it says, "Welcome to Cinderfall," and there's little bees flying around the letters. The second one is a field of wildflowers with mountain goats the size of a horse wandering through it, and it says, "Come visit rustic Cinderfall." There you go.
That's only 2.
Yeah, those are the only ones available. There are just
Okay.
multiples of those.
I'm imagining any and all art that's happening being in like sand art type stuff, like
Yeah, absolutely.
all powdered ores and like sand and colorations and whatnot, all done and like made
Love
into
it.
the scene.
There's some bottles with different levels of different color sand and a seashell.
Oh, absolutely. Except it's not a seashell, it's a little piece of volcanic rock. So, whatever you wish to acquire out and about, you're able to acquire at gold cost. Nothing interesting, only simple, mundane, normal, everyday items. But eventually, you all wander your way back to the guild hall. But before we get there, the scale mistress and her seeing eye dog have left, and the two of you have a moment there.
Hi, what the fuck just happened?
I was hoping that you could tell me.
How did she know who we were? How did she know where we were? How
Well, she
does
told
she
us
not
that.
want to kill her?
That I can't answer. But apparently, our friend, the wall speaker, was speaking to her.
But it's still strange that she would know we are in this cellar. Did I miss my opportunity to kill her? Should I have killed her then?
And about that time, you hear doom, 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 doing the trample of two full-plated individuals and a light-stepped Selu behind them enter and come down the steps as you're having this conversation.
And the first thing you all hear is, "Should I have killed her?"
Killed who?
Oh,
Y'all aren't talking about me, right? I've been nothing but kind to y'all.
Oh no, Melly, you're safe. Don't worry. If we had to, it would be peaceful and in your sleep. You'd be okay.
I mean, she might be playing the long game to turn 10. You're not, right?
Y'all
Right.
aren't trying to kill me while I sleep, right?
Oh no.
Right.
We
Well,
would have
then
done
we're
that back on your
good.
farm.
Why are we talking about trying to kill people?
Guys, should I tell them?
Why would you not tell us?
Yes.
Everybody's a-
St. Louis is having an existential moment.
Everybody's immediately looking for blood.
Roll a perception check.
You ain't gonna see shit that you guys didn't even were aware of.
He's gonna see the body that was there the whole time.
Y'all are just lucky there were no rats. Would have been practicing a different spell.
It's a 19.
All right. With a 19, Jubei, you actually do notice something. Looking around, looking for blood spots and whatnot, you don't see any. You do, however, see a little black piece of paper or card with gold etching on it sitting on the couch.
Walk over and pick it up.
It looks exactly like the tarot deck that Reese used to carry. And
Oh
as you,
shit!
and
Now
as
I
you
have to
flip
tell
it
them.
over, the card is the Fiend.
This is an interesting looking fellow.
And as you roll it back, the feminine figure turns into a skull and death.
Okay, so let me explain.
That seems wise.
Kai, do you want to explain?
No.
Damn it.
Well,
What-
this card is dark and mysterious and ominous.
It's
so
exactly how I.
Would I be familiar with their tarot cards of the Scale Mistress?
No.
No.
Okay, so creepy old lady knew we were down here. Red gold gilded robes. Called herself the Scale Mistress. Ring a bell. She knew my name even with my facade on. She had the same cards that Kai used.
Reese.
Kind of.
Reese.
Reese, sorry. I was wishing Kai was telling the story. He's still in the brain. And then she read 3 cards for me, and then told me that I would kill her, and that I would bring death and destruction to everything.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
about
she
the
left.
was it.
She just said
oh,
bring
yeah,
death and destruction. She didn't say to everything.
Uh,
It is however you're telling.
Oh yeah, to everything. But she did have a cute brown dog.
Was she blind perchance?
Yes. She had
She-
cataracts, but it
She
seemed like
looked like it,
she could see.
but she was not.
Do you know who they're talking
So she
about?
tried to walk up the stairs.
Who?
Well, it sounds like they're talking about the Scale Mistress.
That's what she called herself, yes.
That's the one.
That's they're
one
they're
who's-
part of the Seekers.
Right. In the sanctuary, knows about the piece of heaven. Was the one of the only people in there with what's his face, Athan, when they sealed the big thing 100 years ago. Yeah, that's the one.
You were supposed to be down here to be out of the way. What did you do to get? Where did this person come from?
She just walked down here.
And hand the card to Sailor. Apparently, she left her calling card.
The card is the Fiend.
She did say I was handsome. Very important detail.
People lie.
I was
That's
going to
weird.
say at least she's honest, but I mean,
The scales are usually made up of mystics and of oracles. My order acted as guardians to them. We were very protective of them, but we never knew what they did exactly or how much they knew.
You protected people that you didn't know what their purpose was.
I said I wasn't fond of the Seekers.
They knew a whole hell of a lot, apparently.
Or oracles, usually.
And she told you, miss, that you will kill her? Did she say how?
Or
No, and
why?
I wasn't sure when either. I don't know if I missed my chance.
Well, this goes without saying, but don't.
I
I'm
told her I would
worried.
not want to.
I'm worried that if going into the sanctuary is going to cause a fight.
Well, that we're prepared for.
That would complicate things, and I'd prefer for that not to happen, but
She did this thing. She put her thumb on my forehead, and it showed me with the same hands that I have when I have the dreams of the shadow monster, touching a stone that I assumed to be the piece of heaven, and then cracking it open. And then she said I would kill her.
huh,
Yeah, that's what I said.
Do you
rather
remember?
concerning.
Do you remember on Millie's farm where I said that we possibly have this stone underneath this mountain filled with these creatures?
I recall, yes. It was something I agreed with.
And I mean, people dismissed it. They said we don't know if this item is filled with these creatures, but cracking it open seems like a bad idea.
Did anything come out in your vision when you cracked it?
It didn't last long enough for me to know.
Then again, I will reiterate. I think it's a bad idea, even if something doesn't come out that we crack this thing.
No, I don't think it was intentional cracking. I think it was a vision of the shadow me taking over to crack it open.
Well, whatever happens, we need to make sure we're cracking lacking going forward.
I don't understand the words of your people sometimes.
It's gonna take a moment to be glad that I'm not the only person that had crack-a-lackin' going through their head in the midst of this conversation.
I think we have to get to the sanctuary as quickly as possible because I can't promise that my protection will last for very much longer. And if your shadow comes and is there to destroy the piece of heaven where everyone's shadow is, that's not a good thing.
Well, I agree with you. I don't want anyone to die. I'd preferably like to go through this entire endeavor without drawing my sword. But, however, everyone that walks into that sanctum is walking out.
I know.
With or without their shadow.
We'll make sure of that.
Is there an option of being dragged out?
If we have to. But you're coming with us.
This ritual, have you been there for one, Millie?
You have. But from your perspective, they went into a tunnel that you've not been in before, and at that point it was up to the mountain.
So I see them start it, but right, I
Hmm.
don't see them like go through it. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the descriptions from every single one of them that is returned is different.
Is this the getting rid of the shadow or the trial to overcome your shadow?
The trial to overcome it.
Does it involve touching the piece of heaven?
What do you think the smile on my face means?
Which is why I'm nervous that you're gonna break it.
Well, if there's one person in this world that destined to break anything, it'd be Mist.
Well, that's what we want to avoid.
I will do my very best not to break it, just like I will do my very best not to kill the blind old woman.
Melly, does this change anything? This scale mistress, knowing that we're here. What does that mean for what we had planned?
She's a keeper of secrets. I'm sure she already knows our plan, and she wanted to stop it. We would have had seekers in here immediately after she left. But
Technically, we have one.
retired. But I need to just make sure that I want to get your approval, I guess, if I see you losing control or trying to break that stone, I don't want to hurt you, but I will have to neutralize whatever happens.
I already told you to. Well, you know.
I'm not gonna kill you, miss. There's other ways around this. There has to be.
To that point, it will be a you problem.
Love your optimism, Mist.
Mist, if we wanted to kill you, we would have done it back in camp.
I didn't necessarily say you wanted to kill me. I said you might have to, but okay.
And on that super cheerful note, my friends, we are short on time this evening, so we're going to go ahead and call it with the kinship and company in a cellar underneath the guild hall run by Chetland Drowstone and Orton. As the day winds to a close, you know that he is coming back soon. At some point in the afternoon, meals are brought down. They're simple, but still tasty nonetheless. But we will pick up there next week.
Yeah.
He could have done better.
Pardon?
Is that on the meals? Dubé thinks he could have done better,
Oh, absolutely.
but he doesn't say anything.
This is like street food, and not even like best street food. So, friends, on this tense moment and tense note as we lead off, let us go ahead and roll for accolades. I've got a 7 for Jubei, a 6 for Selu.
First was 7.
Missed with a
Oh
16.
no, I got a nat 20.
Whoa.
Oh no.
Alright, I've got Melly with a 20, Mist with a 16, Kai with a 9, Jubei 7, Selu 6. Alright. Melly, if you don't mind leading us off as we end our session on a somewhat tense note, why don't you lead us off with accolades?
Yeah, I mean, everyone was great. Had me laughing a lot. But I think I want to give a little bouquet of roses to Derek because just that scene with Sergeant Thomas, how you're like, I'm not gonna lie, I was like panicking, but it worked out. But I just loved your commitment to being like, yeah, I'm not a liar. I'm bad at lying.
That's great.
Thank you.
It was so good. And it ended up working out, and yeah, it was really cool. That whole interaction was just very, very funny. And then, Gabe, I'd be remiss not to say your characters were delightful, especially right from the jump with Kara, Jenny's dad.
Thank you.
It's very sweet. And also Chetland, dirty old man. I loved him.
He's a grumpy old fuck. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Mist.
Man, so Gabe, I'm gonna start off with yours. Just the surprise of the scale mistress coming into the den was definitely not something
That was
I
shooketh.
had seen coming at all. Yeah, twas shooketh. And the callback to Reese and the tarot cards was very cool. So thank you for that. It was a very fun scene.
Thank you.
Jacob, I really loved your description of the changing of appearance of Selu this evening. Not just from disheveled to well put together, but also just the changes and kind of that Eladrin, leaning into that Eladrin shift type stuff, hair changes, all that, personality changes. I think you do that really well.
Thank you. It's something that I feel like I haven't given very much attention to lately, so I'm glad that got picked up on.
For sure.
Kai.
Yes. I'm gonna give mine to Sean for the very first line of the session. Mist being like, "I think you should kill me. If that happens, you should kill me." That was like, man, it was like a very dire way to like kick off the session and remind us all how serious this like quest we're on is. That was cool. Gabe, man, so that whole encounter with the scale mistress, and she did like the whole tarot thing, and then she was about to leave, and I was like, oh, I guess this is just like a Sean thing. This is not a Derek thing. And then she turns to me and is like, so how was it when you died? I was like, oh fuck. I didn't get out unscathed, and me and Kai legitimately just like did not know how to react to that. I was just like, oh fuck. Like, so that was cool. Yeah, nice job.
Wonderful, thank you. Jubei,
First off, Gabe, fun session.
thank you very kindly.
Next one is honestly, I'll give it to Suze because I was impressed with the literally just pulling a story out of her ass for the secrets. Like,
That deception.
It's like, yeah, there we go. So that's where my as she puts it, my rose goes today.
Wonderful.
That's good
And
shit.
last but certainly not least, Selu.
I'm gonna spread mine around a little bit because they're like little one-liners that came in tonight that just got me all cracked up. Bill, the is bitch a term of endearment? Come on, bitch.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, it'll come back around. It'll come back around.
Mist and Kai, let me explain. Kai, do you want to explain? No. Like, it was just like the most perfect like little set of interactions that I just were so in character to how I fully envisioned that actually happening between people. Like, the one-liners tonight just got me across that. So props to all for various things of that notion. And then I know it has been mentioned a few different times, but Gabe, the scale mistress was super freaking cool. The callback to the tarot cards, the tie-in to Reese in particular, like as we end this, I feel like Selu is literally sitting there holding this card that looks just like Reese's, and like a million questions are going through their head right now, in ways that haven't even been voiced yet, and it just so good. Loved it. Such a cool touch.
Thank you very much. Going through on my end, Melly, the yes-anding was marvelous. Through seeing Kara approach and dealing with Luke and dealing with the security, the soldiers from the Seekers, and dealing with Chetlin, all of it. There was so much improvisation, and just I would drop a hook and you would grab it and run with it, or vice. Those little drops of information. Well, Lady Captain, those little details that you just picked up and ran with, and I loved it. It was marvelous. Thank you. Mist, your descriptions of trying to master your powers your form blurring was just super cool. I really enjoyed that. It's such a nice touch that you always throw in constantly, and I really don't want it to be skipped over on or feel like it doesn't go noticed, because that is such a cool development and growth thing that your character goes through, and the way you make a point to describe that is awesome.
Thank you.
Kai, it's already been mentioned, but the straight-faced approach to the security with the seekers that came up and approached you and started questioning you. I was really waiting for that to go really poorly. Y'all got to skip a map. But I'm really, really excited for how that straight-laced "I will not lie" or "I can't lie" part of Kai continues to impact the story constantly. It's marvelous, and your reaction in character and out of character, the Scale Mistress, was marvelous. Ellie, Miss, Kai, Jubei, your one-liners were on point. But my favorite part of Jubei today was the stepping in front of Kai as Kai was stumbling and leaning into that kind of courtier aspect of the samurai subclass, and really kind of redirecting this potentially dangerous situation and giving Kai an out. It was really, really beautifully done, and I really enjoyed that. The "come on, bitch" just made me so happy in the worst, crassest way. Because you only say something like that to Kai. That just, it's so awful, it's good. Selu, the descriptions of the shifts, the Eladrin shifts that are occurring, it was really cool to see that pop back up. About once a month or so, it creeps back in the way you describe Selu, and it's always awesome to see it pop up. Also seeking out ingredients for spells and whatnot, and leaning into the whole I'm not sure, I don't know what this does, I'm figuring it out, kind of always seeking knowledge, that hunger for information and for in this case talent in the arcane. Is awesome, and I love the way that is always a driving force in the background with Selu, that thirst for knowledge.
Thank you.
Yeah. This evening, as we are a little short on time, we wrapped up just a wee bit early, but I would love to give a GM inspiration point to our guest this week for the marvelous yes-anding, because you did a lot of heavy lifting with improvisation tonight, even in the shorter session, and it was marvelous. If you already have an inspiration point, because I believe you did start with one as you joined us, if you still have that and would like to pass it to another player, you may. Just let me know who and why.
Jacob, do you have one?
I do. I have mine from last time, and I haven't used it yet.
He gets one every session too.
I do. It's those nat
I was gonna
ones.
say, you
My
have one,
rule
why don't you use
ensures
it?
that I have one.
I'm very bad at using inspiration.
I'm not. I need it a lot.
We haven't been rolling a whole lot, so
Fair, yeah. Derek, do you have one?
I do.
Bill, do you have one?
I do not.
I'll get back to you.
There we go.
So it's like, oh, thank God.
Really,
For
at the end of the day,
crack-a-lackin'.
you didn't have to give it to the DM, and so that
has happened twice. That
Yeah.
everybody had one. It convinces us to use them.
Yep. Last time I pulled one of those out was in the shadow fight too. So
Yep.
I gotta be more diligent about using those too. So, thank you very much, friends. I appreciate and love you all. You're marvelous human beings. Thank you for gaming with me this evening. Those of you out there in the world's fucking on fire. Be nice. It's not that hard. Be nice to other people, y'all. A little
Or
bit of
else.
game. Yeah, or else. Be nice. It'll literally change someone's life. And every life you change will change 2 more. And in that way, you save the world. So, have a great night. Peace.
At all.